Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott thinks about that every day, I'm sure. Governor, you see what happened to John Kasich in Ohio. Are you thinking to yourself, what happens to happen to a university near me?
Well, listen, this is something actually that I've been thinking about for a while. It was this very issue that caused me as governor of Texas to withdraw Texas from the refugee relocation process. I predicted this was going to happen. Remember this, Brian, and that is this refugee from Somalia who made the attack on Ohio State initially came into the United States to Dallas, Texas.
That's right.
And because I knew that refugees were coming in from terrorist-based countries posing problems like this, I could not be an accomplice to importing terrorism into the United States of America.
Of course, he came into the country about 9 years ago. There's no evidence that he was radicalized when he came in, but, you know, over the course of time, Governor, things happen. And in fact, Adam Schiff, a Democrat from California, said it looked to him as if they're going to have to investigate if he radicalized himself. Obviously, the guy had a beef with the country.
But here's the deal, and that is the probabilities are, or at least the predictability is, that when refugees come in from terrorist-based nations, there's a higher probability something like this could happen. There's only a few of them, like Somalia, like Syria, like Yemen, like Iraq. Another example that occurred earlier this year, there was a refugee who came into the United States, into Texas, to Houston, Texas, and he's the one who was arrested earlier this year for plotting to blow up a huge mall in Houston, Texas. Listen, this is something we can figure out. This is something we should be on top of. It is insanity that the United States of America will not safeguard our people by bringing in people from terrorist-sponsored nations.
Speaking of safeguarding, we had Judge Napolitano on earlier, and he wanted us to ask you about this because he said this wouldn't have happened or guys like this would be stopped on a campus in a college in Texas, because he said students there, if they have permits, can carry guns on campus. They can't do that in Ohio.
Right. In our last legislative session, we passed what's called open carry on campuses so that college kids can carry guns on campus. You know, it's not all college kids. You have to be, I think, 21 years old to be able to do it. But for one, we've seen no incidents of anybody misusing a gun on campus. But it's instances like this where kids on campus could have guns where they could have been able to respond initially. Fortunately, there is an American hero today. And that is that law enforcement officer who was able to so quickly take down these kids.
With a gun.
But I think, take down the attacker. But I think that on a college campus like here in Texas, people will think twice before waging an attack like this, knowing that they could be gunned down immediately.
Right, they wouldn't accomplish their goal. So let's talk about something else that's going to be in your lap shortly and is now, and that is the fact that there are sanctuary cities in this country, and this president-elect wants that to come to an end. What action did you take to make sure cities in Texas are not sanctuary cities?
The thing I have already done is I've used my powers as governor of Texas to withhold funds to cities or counties that are declaring themselves to be sanctuary cities. But second, we're about to have a legislative session here, and I've declared that we are going to pass a law banning sanctuary cities in the state of Texas.
Has it worked?
It has worked with regard to the withholding of funds because it was the sheriff of Dallas County who said that she was not going to enforce laws against people who were seeking sanctuary. And when she saw what my order was, she quickly backtracked on that. But when we pass a strong rebuke to sanctuary cities and ban sanctuary cities here in the state of Texas, the consequences will be so extreme for the cities and the counties, they will have to follow the law. And listen, all we're asking them to do is to follow and apply the federal law of the United States of America.
And you know what, Governor, your job is going to get a lot easier because with Donald Trump, he's made it very clear he is anti-sanctuary cities. With Barack Obama, he was very pro-sanctuary cities, and so he's going to keep the money going to those sanctuary cities, the federal money, even if they are breaking federal law. But Donald Trump won't, and you won't either on the state level.
Right, you are right. With President Obama, it's been like us governors having to push a big boulder up a steep hill. Now we're on a level playing field where we have a president who believes in enforcing the rule of law in this country. And so our job is going to be easier. However, we know the states are able to act more quickly than the federal government. So we're still going to move post-haste to get this law passed.
Sure. Real quick, Governor, from your perch there in Texas, how does the Trump transition look like it's going?
Here in Texas, it looks like it's going great. Look at the announcement today with regard to the new Health and Human Services Director. This is going to be someone that the state of Texas will be able to work very effectively with, for one, to peel back Obamacare, but for another, to provide to the states block grant authority. We deal with the Department of Justice all the time. To see Senator Sessions as the nominee to be the next Attorney General is going to be someone who's going to be very easy for us to work with. So we are pleased with the way that it's progressing so far.
Yeah, block grant in terms of helping with catastrophic injuries and people who need extreme care, high-risk pools. That'll help everybody because you can go across state lines with insurance too. Governor, look forward to talking to you again. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you all.